breaking news, though. If you wagered on Mike McDaniel to be the first head coach fired this season in the NFL, because he was the odds-on favorite from week 1, you lost your bet. Because the Titans have fired Brian Callahan. Cam Ward, coach killer. Mike McDaniel survives the first firing of the NFL season in 2025.
And the saying, hire slow, fire fast, we don't go by that.
We do not go by that. I know people don't want to hear that, but I read another report today from Ian Rappaport that they are going to be patient. They are not in any rush to make any changes. Here's the thing that drives me crazy. And this was like week 1. This is every week. The Dolphins can't just lose a close game. There were plenty of close games. There were blowouts. Dolphins had the lead with a minute to go against a team that was favored against them. And so the Dolphins, and Tua gave you the little game-winning drive almost. I mean, and then they can't, and so they lose a close game. Happens all the time in the NFL, but not with the Dolphins. Then Tua's got to say what he said in the post-game press conference, and now instead of just having a disappointing close loss, you've got an organization that's in disarray. They're the laughing stock of the league. They are being talked about on every show on earth.
Yep.
Emmanuel Acho does a YouTube show Sunday nights after the games. It started with him. It went to NFL Network. It woke up this morning and it jumped on to Get Up and it jumped on to First Take and it jumped on to Pat McAfee and every other show. They can't just lose a game. They have to be the talk for all the wrong reasons of the league and sports media. And I said this, I can't remember if it was the Indianapolis game, but at what point does Stephen Ross become tired of being fodder for owning a terrible organization?
Hell with 1-5. You're embarrassing me.
You're embarrassing me. You saw the video yesterday? He came down to the field with Tom Garfinkel. They thought that they were going to walk out and congratulate Tua and Mike McDaniel for overcoming the adversity that they've overcome over the last, I shouldn't say they've overcome, that they thought they had overcome for the last few weeks. Stephen Ross, Tom Garfinkel are down on the field.
Mm-hmm.
They got to move from the suite, the owner's suite, down to the field. So by the time they get down there, Dolphins are winning. And what could go wrong? I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I saw someone write about Jalen Phillips, that he's the guy who has warning track power in baseball, that he's always right there. And so Stephen Ross is down on the field, and that has to be embarrassing. I mean, that has to be wildly embarrassing. He didn't run down to the field to witness a collapse. He ran down to the field to congratulate his team for overcoming adversity and beating the head-to-head matchup against Justin Herbert. And then he was just standing there in the heat.
It's embarrassing him to hell with the record. But James Franklin gets fired at 3-3. The Tennessee guy is fired at 1-5. We're being patient with McDaniel. So that's just, I don't know how much. And it's the butt whoopings. I'm getting to this point. The Colts butt whooping, it hits me less than the collapses. When Tua threw that second interception, I was at the stadium. I was in the alumni box. I said, this is the collapse right here. Then they go down and score. And you see for a quarter, damn near 20 minutes left, 20 minutes of game time, neither side of the ball wanted to play football. Like, it's supposed to be turnover. Hey, y'all, let's go get that thing back for the offense. No, turnover. Okay, we're going to let a little boy that had 140 yards in his life go run for 121 on us. That's what we're going to do after this turnover. There are collapses. And, I'm telling you, if Tua wants to be respected and earn leadership Don't go and snitch on your teammates to the national media.
I mean,
so if you want to talk about leadership is not telling the national media, oh yeah, I threw 3 interceptions, but nobody's coming to the players only meetings. Tua, boy, if there's any, we talk about those dogs that we always say they don't have many on the Dolphins. If anybody is a dog, they're walking up on Tua chest to chest this morning. Bruh, you gonna do that to your teammates in the national media postgame after your ass threw 3 interceptions? Hey, fella, you need to tighten up.
And by the way,
there might be a fight.
I just want to point out, right, you got a Des Bryant on that team because you see what he tweeted? You got a Des Bryant on that team and you do that nonsense, there's going to be a fight. I just want to point out, the first interception was not Tua's fault. That was Jalen Waddle's fault. Yeah. The third interception was the funniest effing thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never, now I don't know, has that ever happened before? On the lateral play at the end of the game, have you ever seen a defensive back jump the pass? Like, that was, it could not have ended more perfectly. That game could not have ended in a funnier fashion. That was 1,000 times funnier than the Seinfeld finale. Like that was I was rolling on the floor laughing at that interception. That was comedy at its highest level.
They can't throw the ball. Tua can't throw the ball from the 50 to the end zone. They're gonna turn somebody around on the hook. And Derwin James just sat there and stared at both number 2s and broke on it.
I mean, unbelievable.
I was listening to the radio broadcast, and they're like, all right, well, they're going to have to pull out another Miami Miracle. Cephalo's like, because that ball's not getting to the end zone. Joe's like, that's not getting to the end zone.
Andrew Catalon said the same thing. He's like, hey, we all remember the Miami Miracle. Like, it could happen. And I was just like thinking to myself, hey, you know what's happened this season? Every time the ball gets in Devon Achane's hands, something magical happens. Let's see magic. And he threw a pick.
That's our form of magic down here. That's the Tua magic.
That's the funniest. That's the funniest play I've ever seen since the Miami Dolphins threw a screen pass into the back of the end zone, their own end zone.
It's like, hey, could we do something funnier than Malik Washington having 4 receptions for no yards? Yes, I think we can. Do you know the end of the game when teams all over the league start throwing the lateral plays? I'm going to telegraph one and throw it so poorly that it's actually going to be intercepted. Oh, you mean like on one of the laterals someone's going to grab it? No. The original pass is going to get intercepted. Wait till you see this. In fact, someone call Stephen Ross and Tom Garfinkel. Tell them to come down here for this. This is going to be great.
Tell them to get down here. This has never been seen before. But with Tua, he sailed one to Malik Washington. He sailed one to Waddle in the first half. He sailed 2 balls out. They were wide open. That interception, when he was throwing it to Achane, that was behind him and low. Behind and low is an interception. The corners are going to be behind and low. That's where their job is to be. That was 100% his fault. So now they ask you what went wrong, and you go on a rant about player-only meetings. And let me tell you, this goes deeper because this is a deeper problem. And it became a Tua didn't know. I don't think he's malicious, but he's not calculated. This made the problem bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, let me tell you a schedule of an NFL day. You get there about 6 a.m. You know what you go straight to? Meetings. You meet. And then after that meeting, there's another meeting. And then you're in defense and offensive meetings. Then you break off into individual meetings. Then you work out, you practice. You go eat lunch after practice. Oh, what's after that? Meetings and meetings and meetings. And the coaches have had these bastards in meetings for 6 hours. They haven't established enough of the game plan that now you have to plan another meeting to talk about the meetings. It is stupid. This player-only meeting stuff, it means like, oh, we've got together. We've pulled it together now. We're having player-only meetings. It's a waste of time. If you have to meet more than 6-7 hours a day that you're meeting with the people that implemented a game plan, What the hell are they doing in their meeting? They're playing Yahtzee in these damn meetings that you're in meetings more
I
than
think if
you're
they
in
were
lunch
playing
in the weight
Yahtzee, the
room.
people would show up. The problem is they're not playing Yahtzee. Somebody's just droning on and on.
Talk a month and a half of meetings. We need player-only meetings. And now he's late. I threw it low and behind Achan because I was going to tell Achan in the player-only meeting I'm throwing it low and behind him. Get out of here, man. It sounds so dumb. That, to your point, we're losing. We're not a good football team. This crap is embarrassing. People that are hearing Tua's comments yesterday are saying the same thing I'm saying right now. What the hell are they having player-only meetings for? They're not doing enough in regular meetings? That's honestly something about the coaching staff if they have to have extra meetings on top of y'all bastards meetings. It is embarrassing right now.
Damien Woody was saying something like that today. He was like, "You're 6 weeks in. Like your people aren't showing up for players meetings 6 weeks in. Maybe address that before the season." Or like he was like perplexed at the whole concept of players only meetings and people aren't showing up or they're late and it being 6 weeks into the season. We're going to get to everything. We have an abbreviated show today because it's Columbus Day and the Miami Heat have a preseason Columbus Day matchup. We've all been waiting for this against the Atlanta Hawks. I know, most people probably won't watch Monday Night Football tonight, certainly not the early game because we're going to be glued to this. So we have an abbreviated show because you have to get, if you can't get an hour and a half worth of NBA preseason pregame on Columbus Day, I mean, what kind of sports station are we? So because we have an abbreviated show, let's get headlines real quick because I do have a lot of stuff I want to get to from the media and all the hubbub surrounding Tua and the loss yesterday. So a quick look at the headlines brought to you by Doral Volkswagen, home of the Pricito, our lowest price. Visit us at Doral Volkswagen or DoralVolkswagen.com.
The Heat play at 6, not because it's Columbus Day. The Heat play at 6 because the Falcons are the ones playing on Monday Night Football at 7:15, the first of a doubleheader for Monday Night Football. So Atlanta said, hey, we'll start the game at 6. That way, people can come watch the first half and then jet over to Mercedes-Benz Stadium and watch the Falcons host the Bills at 7:15.
Nobody's doing that.
Yeah, I want to see how many people do that. I think it's the same number of people that jumped off the Uruguayan stadium in 1931.
Same amount of people at these player-only meetings. Guys, hello.
Panthers play tonight as well. And your Monday night doubleheader, Falcons versus Bills, 7:15. Commanders versus the Bears.
The Bears.
8:15. 8:15.
16 parlay. The Commanders have to win as the 6th leg.
Ooh, let's go. I'm betting the Bears, though, tonight. I like the Bears getting the points.
Oh, right after I said what I just said, you're going to bet against me?
Crazy.
Yeah, it's probably good news for you.
You know what? Thank you.
Hey, Cats are 3-0. By the way, the Heat lost to the Magic yesterday. They're 0-4 in preseason action. Second night
this Keyshawn Johnson's going to have to start showing something.
I see you. You saw Ira Winderman's tweet, I imagine.
Word for word. He literally tweeted that out. So I was like, oh, I'll use that at some point.
I heard Spo roasted Khalil again. I like it.
He didn't roast Khalil. He didn't roast him.
I was listening to Tobin.
You kind of roasted him again. He did.
I listened to Tobin and Leroy, and they were like, "Oh, he's doing it to toughen him up." I was like, "Oh, he must have wore his ass out on media." The pigeon.
Hawk, you mentioned that Ian Rappaport report. That's funny. This is it. Joe Shad tweeted this out. From my understanding, this is a quote from Ian Rappaport. From my understanding, it would take something significant for the Miami Dolphins to move on from the head coach. They just extended a head coach that Stephen Ross really likes and believes in. The Dolphins want this to work and believe it will work.
Well, that's the part. Listen, if you say, hey, we're going to be patient because we don't think a change in the middle of the season is going to do anything, and so we'll reassess at the end of the season, that I can buy into. If you're still saying you think this is going to work, then I have to question everything.
At some point, don't have to worry about like season ticket re-ups and sponsorships and like the business side.
They really don't. That's how powerful the NFL is. I'm being honest. I read something about the television ratings and the revenue over the weekend. And no, they really don't have to worry about that. What you have to worry about, I think, is legacy. And generally, if you're a billionaire owner, you probably take pride in your business. And, we know what Jerry Jones has tried to do in Dallas, had success at the beginning, but they get, very they're wired to win. And I think I think the only motivator for Stephen Ross, it's not money. This thing is worth billions more than what he paid for it. Billions with a B, more than what he paid for it. The only thing that has to be a motivator for him is the legacy of leaving a successful franchise, but also not being embarrassed on a weekly basis in front of the national media.
Hawk, the only reason I disagree, because you're not wrong. Fans not showing up for 2 seasons isn't going to hurt the pocketbook in any, harsh way. It's just not. But the only thing Stephen Ross can hang his hat on as the owner of the Dolphins is what? We always say the caveat of Stephen Ross, he's put money into the facility. He's made Miami a go-to destination, not just for the NFL, college football, F1. Like, he's made Miami Gardens into a destination. In itself, fascinating. The money he's put in himself into rebuilding that stadium and to making that a top-notch facility, people not showing up to watch his team and to be at the place he built, in my opinion, hurts him emotionally. Seeing empty stands.
But how could it not hurt him? Like, how would that hurt him more emotionally than watching Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee and Mike Greenberg and every NFL player talk about?
I don't think he actually consumes that stuff the way we do.
Yeah, but how often is he at the games as well? Like, I don't think it's any. I don't think it's any more embarrassing to not have fans in the seats than it is to be the laughing stock of the national sports media. I think it's 6-1, half dozen to another.
And talking about it now, you just made me think. The Ross Enterprise Hard Rock division, you are a Miami Open, have all the best tennis players in your facility. F1, you have all the top racers in your facility. The Hurricanes, they're coming back right now. You have I'd say the best college team in the nation in your facility. All the concerts, all the everything. The Dolphins are the little sister, the little one in the basement. Hey, the Dolphins also play here. If you think
about, is the one that he's got his fingerprints on,
and that's the embarrassing side of it.
Right.
So your point, am I successful? Yes, I've blown up Miami Gardens, but my baby that I love, that I own, that I bought, that I have decision-making powers about, they are terrible. And they're getting laughed at, not just losing, they're getting laughed at.
By the way, David Furones tweets out, because Mike McDaniel's having his press conference right now. David Furones tweets out, Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel said yesterday's postgame press conference was not the forum to air out what Tua wanted to get off his chest as the franchise quarterback. He said Tua knows that now and has communicated with teammates.
If nobody slapped him, we got trouble.